this is not all in because the Yankees are getting ready to go down to Tampa with a rotation that I don't know how this rotation is it. And I don't know that I would quite feel this way, although I was starting to go in this direction. But then, out of nowhere, the Orioles get Burns. And what are we doing? Like, did Brian Cashman even know that this was going to happen? How deep was he in on the talks? Well, if you tell me he was deep, my answer would be he wasn't deep enough. Because, before I'm bothered by this offseason, Sal. And I'm bothered by this offseason because you can look at the vaunted history of the Yankees, which has always usually been more hitter-dependent than pitcher or pitching-dependent, right? Like Babe Ruth and Gehrig and DiMaggio and Berra and all the amazing names, right? It was generally an offensive-laden team, hence the Bronx Bombers. Mm-hmm. The Yankees right now are in the unique position of, all right, he's either one or two. The best player in baseball and the best pitcher in baseball. And they're not going for it.
Two of the best players in baseball and the best pitcher in baseball. And they said their words, and I'm glad you're at this point now because this is where I felt frustrated for a while. The difference was that you thought they were going to do something, and then Burns kind of cements that. They have missed out on Yamamoto. Now, I don't know how much they really wanted them. Andy Martino of SNY yesterday on Baseball Night in New York said that teams that offered the amount for Yamamoto are thankful that he took it with the Dodgers. So it got ridiculous to a point of the 325, 300. So maybe teams are thankful. But anyway, they wanted Yamamoto, didn't get him. They made an offer to Snell, didn't get him. They were in on Corbin Burns, reportedly, didn't get him. They needed a lefty reliever. They didn't bring back Wandy Peralta. They didn't go get Josh Hader. Mm-hmm. They traded for Caleb Ferguson. And then I'm not trying to, minimize that move, but in comparison to their words,
well, it's not all in. Yeah, and that's not all in.
All in is Hader. All in is one of those starters.
Yeah,
this is not all in.
You're not wrong. I've resisted this for a while because there was time and because Burns wasn't dealt yet. Hey, it's almost go time. It's almost go time. But, before you know it, pitchers and catchers.
Next week.
I know.
This is the team. This is it.
Well, that's my point. If this is it, and you know what? This is the first time I'm thinking it might be, at least entering the season, then they didn't do a good enough job. That's it. The Yankees didn't deliver on what they told us they were going to deliver. Aaron Judge is not 24. Garrett Cole is not 25. They're in their early 30s. It is time now. Juan Soto's here for a year. If the Yankees go 86 and, I don't know, I'm not even mentally, right. Whatever the math is to that, 86 and whatever, and they have a fairly pedestrian season that goes nowhere, the chances of Juan Soto bouncing grow. They grow significantly. I don't understand this. I really don't get how they think that they're going to enter this season with Garrett Cole and then all the other stuff they have in the rotation and think that this team's going to win a World Series. Now, please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. This is not the end of the world. This is not, I give up. No, I know the Yankees are going to be good. It's a given. I know the Yankees are going to be a playoff team. I strongly believe that they will.
90-plus wins, they should.
Low 90s at this point. I thought maybe 95, so I thought there'd be one more move. I'd say right now probably low 90s. I do think the bullpen will be a little bit better than people think when you actually dive into some of the acquisitions. I'm not going to get into it now because it's boring minutia, but I think even the Ferguson move pays off a little bit. That's the small potatoes. The steak right now, it ain't cooked. It's not cooked. I don't know. Listen, I could get on the air, and you and I have gone back and forth, and I can tell you, Sal, that I think Rodon's going to bounce back. I don't know. I can tell you that Cortez is going to go back to the all-star pitcher that he was 2 years ago. Honestly, I don't think that's going to happen. I do like Stroman, but his second half was very alarming last year. I like Clark Schmidt, but where are we at? Where are we at with the innings jump? Like, I don't understand how they told us they were going all in, and I gave them space. I was not up there behind. I defended them. I'm like, nah, there's more coming. There's got to be more. Yeah.
You trusted them.
I did because I
Cashman,
thought. Well, not so much more Hal.
Well,
not Cashman, more Hal. Like, I never once in the last 5 or 6 years put any faith in Cashman. The reason why
they're penny pinching on relievers now, even that's a new low.
Well, the reason why again the reliever market. I hear you. Hader's a power flex. They didn't do it. The reliever market.
Who's the dude they traded for?
It changes every year. Ferguson.
No. The other guy last year that they traded for from the Angels, Middleton or something. the righty reliever. They thought they were going to get him back. No, last year at the deadline. Didn't they get him?
Oh, and then they got rid of him, that guy?
Well, they thought they were going to be able to bring him back, but he went for more money than they expected.
Well, I mean, listen, these are little things that add up. But again, I'm talking about the main piece of the entree. That's what I'm talking about. The main piece of the entree. So we will be at the Hard Rock. We'll be out there. We'll be doing the show on opening day. Can't wait. The Soto buzz is going to be great. Judge, Cole, fantastic. At least the home opener. What about the rest of this rotation? I don't understand how you could straddle the fence at this point. I don't understand it. And if I'm saying this,
right,
because I have really believed that the Yankees offseason has been a lot better than people have positioned it to be, they have not done what I believe is they were required to do. They have fallen short.
And to me, this is more, and I've been saying this for weeks, as you know, this is more about the organization than it is about the team. The team will be okay. Are they as good as the Orioles? No. Are they the best team in the American League? No, they are not. Are they, a lock to get to a World Series? No, they are not. I know it's never a lock, but they're not on that top level like the Yankees should be. But it's also not like this Yankees team, like the Mets fighting for a playoff spot. The Yankees should be a playoff team and should be competing at a high level. They're just not as good as the best. And off of the year that they had last year, they needed to do a lot more. And they said, this is the biggest crime, they said they would be all in. And the moves that have followed are not. It's, but we want Snell, but at our price. We want Yamamoto, but at our price. We want Burns, but at our price for the prospects. We like Wandy, or we like Keenan Middleton, I think was the guy. We like Middleton, but at our price. I mean, what are we doing here? Oh, yeah, sure, we need a lefty reliever. We're not going to get hated because he costs too much. What? Well, that's what they're doing.
Listen, it's like, and I just went through this with the car process. You're going through this with the home process. Specific to cars, it's like going in, getting a nice car, trying to get a nice car, and saying, but I'm going to skimp on the mud flaps, and I don't really need the extra 2 speakers, and, this leather package upgrade, this is a first world issue. I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but people go through this. This leather package is nice, but, it's a little much, but I'm going to have the shell of a great car, but all the other accessories, I'm going to skimp a little bit. What are we doing?
Simply, BT, it's not all in.
I agree with you.
Their words were, we're going all in. The actions did not follow. That was my fear to start this offseason. Yeah. That has now come to fruition. The New York Yankees talked a big game. They didn't back it up.
They have not. They have not backed it up the way that I thought that they would. I cannot dispute that. This is the first time I'm saying it like this because it's the first time I really feel it like this. But Sal has been saying this for a while, and, it looks like you're right. I can say that.
I mean, pitchers and catchers.
You got to come real once in a while. You can't just keep kicking things down the road. Like, it's easy, and I really believed it. Like, I didn't just say, I believed it based on what they told us, everything, the feel, the optics of the season. I thought it was all in. I thought they were going to slam that gas and go 90 on the freeway. They're going 62, and they're just cutting in and out of lanes trying to get there. Step on the gas.
If they got Corbin Burns, we're not having this conversation, right?
Not at all.
That's what I mean. Then it would have been, okay, look, they got Burns. They got him to pair with Garrett Cole. Any one of those moves, Yamamoto, Snell, Burns, we throw in Bauer, Hader, any one of those moves, we can't dispute it. Right now,
they didn't finish the job. 877-337-6666. BT and Sound on the Fan. All right, it is a day of recognition, and I am recognizing that the Yankees have fallen short of what I thought that they would do. We're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Friends of Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on any brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. All right, Richie, Queens, first up, BT and Sound on the Fan. Rich, what's cooking?
Hey, guys. Boy, BT, what a turnaround.
What, am I wrong,
Sal
Rich?
Cheating. Hello?
Yeah, am I wrong? Listen, I'm not just going to
No, you're not wrong,
okay.
But I'm just saying Sal was kicking this all in to a point like 2 weeks ago. If I hear that one more time, I'm going to snap. He happened to be right. At this point in time, they haven't gone all in.
Nope.
The difference between them and the Mets made a comment that they wouldn't be all in, and they have not been. And the Yankees said they would be. Hader would have been a big plus. Obviously, Corbin Burns. So, yeah, they are so far from being all in. And, you could say that for a lot of teams other than maybe the Dodgers, what they've done in Baltimore, picking up Burns was major. And, Sal, you brought it up. 19-game difference last year. The Yankees making up 10 of it. You get Corbin Burns now, and all of a sudden now with the Yankees rotation and the question marks on Rodin, who I was a big believer in him. He played for my team. But, yeah, they have not been all in. And Sal, I hate to say it, but you were right.
Well, why do you hate to say it? I mean, just say it. You
Yeah,
were right.
because
Enjoy
sometimes
it.
I just disagree
And
with
by
some
the
of
way,
things
it's
you
not
said.
well, and that's fine. We appreciate that, and that's what this is about. Like, it's not even about being right or wrong. I was legit, BT, surprised that you were okay with the way. Now, I know Juan Soto, and every time even I said the Yankees have fallen short of all in this offseason, I acknowledge how great of a move Juan Soto is. Like, if they only had one move to make, Juan Soto was it. That would be the one move. And they went out there and they got him. So they get credit for that. However, you can't say all in and then come up short on 4 or 5 different guys. And that's exactly what's happening here. And to his point, at least the Mets, I don't love what the Mets did this offseason. Really, they haven't done much. But at least they said they weren't going to do much. And I can understand it. That's where I'd have an issue with the Yankees. They said all in. Instead, it's Cashman believing in the players that he has to bounce back from last year as opposed to finishing the job in the offseason.
Yeah, but, I know Cashman's going to get pulled into this. I'm going right to Hal.
Or Hal, fine, whoever.
I'm going right to – he owns the freaking team.
Well, Cashman said all in.
Okay, well, I hear you. Listen, here's what bothers me. It's twofold. It's apparently money, but it's also holding on to these prospects like they're the whole diamond.
Right.
The crown jewel.
But that's been their MO.
I know, and it hasn't worked. So, you don't get Josh Hader, 5-year deal with was it $100 million? I think it was 5 years,
Yeah.
$100 million with the Astros. Okay. So now you see the Yankees are not ready to spend that kind of money. That's the monetary aspect. But now you go to the Burns stuff, and they're, again, reluctant or unwilling to throw out the prospects there. So when, it's like a double whammy.
Bingo.
And that is a big problem for a team that must win now.
And this is the exact way they've been operating that led them to an 82-win season last year. It was supposed to change. It's the same stuff.
Listen, the 82 wins, and I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to just completely flip on this.
I know
where
it's
I'm,
about
you know where I'm
injuries.
staying. You know where I'm
right.
disappointed. I'm not burying the lead. The Yankees did not do what I thought they would do. They have not. But I still think they're going to be really good. And the context from a year ago, because I do think Rodon bounces back enough. I know Rizzo healthy is going to hit some bombs. I think Volpe should be better. Dominguez comes back in the middle of the season. You got Juan
You
Soto.
sound like Cashman now.
But that's not the point. The givens that they have, they are so close to being so dominant, and they are just not willing to run through the tape at the end of the race, and I don't understand why. Mike is in Belmar, and don't tell me about money. You print money. Mike, what's happening, buddy? BT and Sal, what's good?
Boys, what's up? So the other day you had me going back and forth talking about exactly what you're talking about, which I'm going to make a point about in a minute with the Yankees. And the Knicks feeling so good about that, you were tearing me apart because I was going back and forth between the two. But, yeah, not all in. But I really struggle with it because it's Hal's money, 100%. The problem is Cashman, and Hal doesn't want to get rid of Cashman, but he doesn't want to keep spending the money because Cashman keeps burning him with all the moves that he keeps making. Like, you guys think about it, too. They need to go all in. But that move with Soto, when you only have him for 1 year guaranteed, you need to go all in because you're committing to this year. You don't know what's coming beyond this. So you did need to go all in. But they're kind of like in between because it's all of these moves. Stanton, Ellsbury, going back to that. Looking at all these guys, they're still paying Donaldson. They went in on Severino. They did the whole – because that's the thing about Cashman. He's a copycat. What did he do? He tried to get Severino, bought out their contract, Severino and Hicks, and it turned into an absolute nightmare. Yeah. So Cashman keeps spending Cal's money and wasting it. If you guys keep spending money on something over and over, even if you have it, at a certain point, you get sick of spending money and wasting it.
Understood. No, Mike, I get it. That's a good call. Appreciate that. I don't want to just be the guy who rants and raves. I'm also a believer in providing answers.
Right.
So let me tell you what I would do if I was Hal Steinbrenner. The first thing I would have done,
fire Cashman.
Stanton's gone.
Oh.
Well, I would have. Yes,
okay.
I would not have extended Cashman.
Right.
Cashman would have been out. Yes, no question. You're right. That would have been one. Then,
but right, understanding that they weren't going to do that.
So working off of the premise that he apparently is here for life, that's why I kind of bypassed that. But no, good checkpoint. You're right. That's the first thing I would have done. With all due respect to Brian, who's had a great career, I think it expired to an extent. I would have moved on. He's still here. He's not moving on, is what it is. Stanton, buy out. Get lost. You're useless.
And by the way,
you can't do anything.
Even that in itself would have been a move to show us they're operating differently.
But now let me show you the next move, because that would not only impact this year, but also the next 3 or 4 years moving forward. Once I buy out Stanton, and don't tell me there's not a team out there with some incentive, whether it's a lower level prospect that you like, you throw that in the deal to trade him, or wherever you eat 70% of the deal. The Marlins are already going to eat $32 million of the remaining money. There's a way to do that deal.
100%.
So don't tell me that there's not. So I would have gotten rid of him. And then the flex is, in addition to either a Burns trade, a Snell signing, or a Dylan Cease trade, I would have signed Bellinger. Now, the difference is I like him a lot more than you.
But still.
But I would put him in the outfield till Dominguez comes back, okay? And then I mix and match a little bit based on who's hot, who's healthy. And then next year, Rizzo gone, Bellinger, age 28, my first baseman for the next 5 years. That's the move that I would have made.
For me, it would have been Hader. I mean, I would have loved Hader and Burns. That is now Dodger level all in. That's vintage Yankee level all in. By the way, they could have. They could have gotten Burns for prospects and Hader for money. Those are the power moves. If not, let's say no Burns, no Snell, no Yamamoto. Go get Bauer and Hader. Those are the flexes that the New York Yankees should be making. And it can't be, well, we didn't need a bullpen arm, because you did need a bullpen arm, because you traded for Caleb Ferguson, who's not Josh Hader. So I want all-in Yankees. This is not. You said all-in Yankees. You're operating like same old Yankees in recent years.
And because they're so chintzy with these prospects, I've got no faith that when it's time for the White Sox to deal Dylan Cease, that the Yankees will find a way to get this deal done. I don't have any faith with that. I don't. I do have faith that they'll get a deal done for a starting pitcher who, I don't know, will be hurt the moment that he shows up, like all the other starting pitchers moves that they make.
Well, that's the other thing, to the caller's point. Every pitcher that Cashman goes out there and brings in, he finds all the guys that can't succeed in New York. And by the way, it's still ongoing with Carlos Rodon, who is going to be a make-or-break year for him, which, if it's me, like, that's got to be the last straw for Brian Cashman, no? If Rodon's a bust, how do you justify keeping him on?
You don't, but there's other things that happened before that that would be tough to justify the extension, but I know what you're saying. All right, 877-337-6666, BT and Sound on the Fan. Don't worry. We're going to obviously start moving into the Super Bowl, incrementally build up to it, but I mean, I'm just driving today, and I'm like, I know what I've been saying for a half a year on the Fan, but thus far, I was wrong, because what I thought they would do, they have not done. And based on what they could be, that in itself is shameful.